All right, so to solve these three CAD models, there's some similar tools that you need for all of them. And the first one is the mirror tool. So let's start with this one, which is Isometric 10. All right, so for Isometric 10, we're going to start by creating this top part right here. And we're only going to do half of it and then mirror it over on itself. So that way we only have to do half of the drawing. All right, so here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square, and the grid is 0.25. So I'm going to start my sketch on the top view and create a 1.25 by 1.25 square. And then we also want to draw out this part in the middle. So this is 0.5 and then 0.25. So let's use a construction line first to find where to start it. So 0.25. And then we can create our square. So 0.25, 0.5. And then finally, we can use our trim tool in order to cut out what we don't need. All right. So I'm going to extrude this out. And it is 0.5 in height. Actually, I think it might be, yeah, it's 0.5 in height. And that's pretty much half of it done. So all we had to do is draw out this shape here. And in order for us to do that, I'm pretty much going to do the height of it, the length of it, and then connect the rest of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for our height. So that's equal to 1.25 here. And then we can use the 3-point arc tool and connect these 2 points and find the point where it says tangent to the circle. All right, and then that gives us this arc here. All right, so our last move here is to extrude it out. So I'm going to click on that face to extrude, make it go the other way, and then make it 0.5 in width. All right, so our last step, we select our mirror tool over on the top. Remember, we select the plane first. And then once we select the plane, we select the entities to mirror, press enter, and there we go. Here we have isometric number 10. Next one is isometric 11. And this one, similar process, but we're going to start with this bottom inside piece first. And then we're going to draw the cylinder on top. All right, so let's divide it in half. It's kind of hard to find the half point. So it's around right there. So we have, let's see. We have to visualize where it would be. So let's bring this out forward a little bit. So the halfway point would be starting here. So let's count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so it's 7 in length, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7 and 4, and our grid is 0.50. So let's start a sketch. So 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right, so we have the first part of it. Now we need to draw this arc here. So I'm just going to use the circle tool, start in the middle, come out, trim it up a bit. And then finally, we need to add the circle in the middle, which is 0.5 in diameter. And then we should include some dimensions so that way we understand or we're able to change it in case I made any mistakes. All right. Actually, let's make this a concentric one. Anyways, we won't worry about that too much. Let's go to extrude it. All right, so finish that sketch, extrude it up. What is our height? Our height is our height is 1. Does that look right? No, I think I messed up that inside. Oh, so our diameter is actually 1 for that inside circle, which is why we added those constraints. There we go. So our next step, let's mirror it over. So again, mirror tool, select the plane first, then select the entities. Awesome. And then finally, we got to draw out the cylinder. And so for that, I'm going to start by creating a plane that's in the middle. So select the plane tool, mid plane. I'm going to select this side and this side. That lets me create a sketch right in the center point. So I'm going to do sketch and select that plane I just created. And sometimes it's easier to hide these other ones. So that way we can actually see what's going on. So select our plane. And for this, all we need to draw is a circle and then cut out what we don't need. So our circle diameter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could start a circle right in the middle that is 8 in diameter. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then for the inside circle, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2. Then we create a line down the center from one end to another. And trim away all the stuff that we don't need. So I'm going to use the trim tool, cut this down, cut this down, here and here. And that should give us our circle. So let's go ahead and extrude that out. And since it's in the center, we could do symmetric extrusion. And then we need to figure out how wide it actually is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide, so 3. Enter. All right, so we're almost done. The last thing we got to do is get the part out in the center. So I'm going to do a sketch here. Draw a circle. Press Shift and E to extrude it. And then we're going to press remove to remove all the material. Make it go all the way out. And that's it. That's the sketch for isometric 11. It's probably the hardest one. And then the last thing we'll look at, isometric 15. This one's considerably easier. So let's do it real quick. Document isometric 15. Obviously, for all of them, you should be creating the views for them, but I'm not going to be doing that because I just want to show how to draw it. So this one's considerably easier. We're just going to start by drawing the bottom part, and then all the rest of it will follow suit. So again, I'm going to split it in half and then mirror it over. So here we have a drawing. Let's figure out where this radius starts. I would say it's right here. That's where it starts to shift forward. So our width is 1, 2, 3. Let's use red for that. So 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our scale is 0.25. So 3 and 6. So 1 or 0.75 and 1.5. We need our circle or radius, and we need this hole, which I'll draw that hole later. Trim out the pieces we don't need. Extrude this up, and it is 0.5 in height. And then what we will do is we'll sketch out half of our top part here. So we have this face here. We can sketch half of it and then extrude it up. So it's actually, it looks like it's the same as the other one. So it's 1, 2, and then the total width and width. So let's do a sketch on the back side here. We'll come out, create a circle or a square. So 1.5 in width and then 0.5 in height. Is that right? Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, that looks right. Create our circle. Cut away the pieces we don't need. And then extrude it forward because we drew half of it. So we have to extrude it forward 0.25. All right. And then before I mirror it, I'm going to create the holes. And the holes were a little bit tricky because there's no like exact measurement. So I just am going to estimate where it is. So this one is 1.5, about 1.5 over. All right. So we could just do 0.25 times 1.5. That's 0.375 for our distance. So I'm going to create a sketch on the top. And then from the center here, I'm going to create a construction line that's, what was it, 0.375. And then we have our circle. And so this one, I'm just going to say this is half and this is half. And then this is 0.25. So our circle diameter is 0.5. So let's do a 3-point circle. And actually, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to create another. Let's go back to our sketch. We're going to create the construction line again, but we're going to take it all the way. So this 0.375, we're going to add in 0.25. So 0.625, and I'll show why in a second. So now we could just create our center point circle right at that metal point, make it 0.5, and we know that that is the correct starting point for it. So we can delete that line, extrude it down. Remove. Okay. Same thing on this face now. So 0.625 from the center. We'll do a construction line. Create our circle. Press remove. And then the last thing we got to do is use our mirror tool. Select the plane to mirror it, which is here. Entities to mirror, which is this. And boom. That is the completed sketch.